Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Emma. Thank you for choosing to practice with me today. This is going to be a fun one. Let's go ahead and we'll get started in a, let's say, seated position. Cross one shin in front of the other. Sit up tall. If that doesn't feel good, you're always welcome to grab a kneeling position instead. Feel free to roll the shoulders or the neck out a few times, unclench your jaw. Make any little adjustments you need to feel more centered, like you're not leaning to one side or favoring one side, I should say. Bring your hands to your knees, palms down or palms up. And then I notice I have a tendency to hinge forward, so if you feel the same, try to sit back. Imagine the shoulders are directly stacked over your hips and close your eyes. Start to notice the rhythm of your breath. We're going to take a few rounds of 3-part breath together. So empty your lungs completely. I want you to breathe in like you're just breathing into the top of your chest. Hold. Then breathe in like you're breathing to the bottom of your ribs. And hold. Now breathe in all the way to the bottom of your belly. Hold, and take a big 1 exhale. Let's do that again. Inhale, 1/3. Inhale, 2/3. Inhale all the way full. 1 big exhale. Again, 1/3. 2/3. All the way. Complete exhale. 2 more. Inhale, 1/3. Inhale, 2/3. Inhale all the way. Big exhale. Last one, 1/3. 2/3. All the way full. Let it go. Now just seal the lips, make your breath nice and even. Bring your right ear towards your right shoulder, drop your chin towards your chest, and then start to circle your neck in that direction. Make those circles bigger, getting your torso involved. So you're drawing big kind of counterclockwise, anti-clockwise circles, going over the right leg first, dropping it forward and down to the left leg. You can make these as big and dramatic as you like, involving the head. And then the next time you hinge over the right leg, take it to the left leg and pause there. Walk your hands over to the left. I like to use the fingertips. I'm going to sit the right sitting bone back a little bit more. Can you drop the outer right armpit a little bit? And then continue to walk the hands to the left until the left hand finds the ground, stretching the right arm up and over. Take an inhale. As you exhale, cactus bend your right arm, squeeze your shoulder blades together, kind of open your chest, look to the right. Inhale, extend. Exhale, cactus bend and squeeze. Inhale, reach. Exhale, squeeze. 1 more inhale. Exhale, cactus bend. Sit yourself up, take that right hand, grab your left ear, pull your head gently to the right. Imagine your head pushing back to the left. Extend through these left fingertips. You should feel a stretch on the left side of your neck. Sit yourself up, take this right hand to the middle of your upper back. Option 1, left hand grabs the right elbow. Option 2, left arm down with the thumb in. So you're internally rotating this left shoulder, and then you can reach for fingertips. Feel free to use a strap or a towel instead. If you've got that, think right elbow going up, left elbow going down. Lean your skull back a little bit. Notice if you're arching your back or flaring your ribs. Try to pull the bottom ribs down for 3, 2, 1, release. Unwind that left arm first. Let's put both fingertips behind us. Push in behind your heart, lift your chest. Big inhale. And exhale. Switch your legs, opposite shin in front. Wiggle in so your weight is even once again, and then bring your hands to your knees. Close your eyes. Let's bring the left ear over towards the left shoulder. Drop your chin towards your chest, and then bring the right ear towards the right shoulder. Circle the head back, and take that a few more times. When you're ready, making those circles a little bit bigger, so involving maybe the torso, drawing clockwise circles. You can involve the head as much or as little as you like. And then the next time, you hinge over the left leg, keep going. We'll pause over the right leg. Walk the hands over to the right, up on the fingertips. Side body stretch. So the left hip crease is pulling back. We often do this in child's pose, just feels a little different here. Feel the outer left armpit drop. And then walk the right hand over to the right. Send the left arm up and over. Nice big stretch through the left side. Take an inhale. Exhale, cactus bend your left arm. Open your chest and look over to the left. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. Again, inhale. Exhale. One more. Sit yourself up, take this left hand, grab your right ear. Pull the head gently to the left. The head's pushing back into the hand to create resistance. The right fingertips are reaching, lengthening the right side of your neck for 3, 2, 1. Sit up, left hand at the upper back, right hand grabs the left elbow, or right arm down, thumb in, reach for your fingers. Pull the bottom ribs down, left elbow going up, right elbow going down. Breathe. Last breath. Go ahead and release that. Fingertips behind you, push in behind your heart, lift your chest. All right, let's cross it over, tabletop position. And immediately tuck the toes and head back to down dog. Pedal out the legs. I don't know about you, but my feet always feel kind of tight after sitting for that long, or sitting in that shape for that long. So pedaling out the legs. Feel free to shake out the head, maybe sway the hips side to side a few times. Find some stillness in your downward facing dog. Push down through the base of the thumb and the pointer finger. Imagine your arms getting longer. Notice if you're dumping into your shoulders or your back. Try to lengthen your sides. Pull the ribs in, tone your belly. Breathe evenly. Lift your heels. Drop both heels off to the right. Push down through the outer edge of the right foot, inner edge of the left foot. Keep lifting your hips up. Option to step the left foot behind the right heel for a little bit more length on the left side. Back through center, heels over to the left. Keep lifting up through the hips, pushing through those points on your palm. Head is heavy. Option to step the right foot behind and lengthen the right side more. Back through center, tippy toes, walk all the way up to the front. Let's take the feet out wide. Bend your knees a lot. Let's clasp the hands behind the head here. Think elbows towards each other. This helps you find a little bit more release on the upper back and the neck. So think almost like you're wearing a helmet. As you breathe in, can you feel your sternum pull a little forward? Imagine the sides getting longer. As you breathe out, you can use the ribs to kind of push the thighs back. As you do that, you'll feel the tailbone lift eventually. So it's more important to get that length in the low back than it is to straighten the legs. Switch the grip so the opposite thumb is on top. Now take the elbows out wide. Push into your feet. Drive down into your heels and rise all the way up to stand, kind of like a reverse deadlift. Stand all the way up. The elbows are wide. Inhale. Exhale, crunch over to the right. So it's almost like the hands are grabbing the back of the skull and lifting up. Draw your waistline in, squeeze your legs. Inhale back through center and take it over to the left. The right elbow's going up towards the ceiling, left oblique squeeze. Inhale back through center, release grip, cactus arms. Imagine you have two light dumbbells in your hands and they're falling backwards. Opening the chest. Take the hands to the backs of the legs or the low back to modify. Start to lean back. Some of you might like to crawl the hands further down the legs, dropping the head all the way back. Push the hips forward, get light in your toes. Breathe in. And breathe out, bend the knees and fold over your legs. Grab onto the ankles. Let's lift up halfway and walk the hands over to the right. Option for the right hand to grab the outer right ankle. Maybe left hand grabs the outer right ankle as well. Think forehead towards shin. Then we'll walk the hands all the way over to the left. Option for left hand to grab outer left ankle. Maybe right hand grabs outer left ankle. Think forehead towards left shin. Back through center, lift up halfway. Step back to plank pose. Tone your belly, stack your shoulders over your wrists. Shift your weight forward and drop your knees. Lower your chest and chin to the ground, hug the elbows in. We're not gonna slide through to cobra pose. I want you to push back up to that high plank position with the knees down. The toes should still be tucked and you're gonna lift your knees back to plank pose. Push back to downward facing dog. Press down with the base of the thumb and the pointer finger. Hollow out your armpits so you feel the shoulder blades spread. Pushing the hands forward, lengthening your arms. Breathe into your sides. Let's walk the hands all the way back to the feet. Lift up halfway. Forward fold. Inhale, rise, reach up. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart and down by your side. So kind of taking a reverse sun salutation. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, walk yourself all the way out to plank pose. Shift forward and drop your knees. Lower your chest and chin to the ground. This time, hips down, pull your chest through and pin the shoulders back. So feel the elbows hugging in. Try to get the shoulders out from the ears. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. The heels are bumped out slightly. It's gonna help the thighs push back. If your heels do touch the ground, can you get light in the toes? If they don't worry about it. Always feel free to put a bend in the knees. Begin to walk your hands all the way back towards your feet. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Inhale, rise, reach up. Exhale, hands to your heart and by your side. We'll do that again. Reach up, forward fold. halfway lift. Walk yourself out. Shift forward with or without the knees, lower. Gaze forward as you lower so you're not dropping the head and straightening the neck. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Reaching through the arms, reaching through the sides like they could get longer. Tone your belly, squeeze your upper quadriceps. Feel your kneecaps lift up onto the thighs. We'll do one more. Walk your hands all the way back to your feet. Lift up halfway. Forward fold. Inhale, rise. Hands to your heart. And by your side. Reach both arms up. Lean back if that feels good, and then fold over your legs. Push your breath out. Half lift. Fold and walk yourself out to plank. Shift forward and lower with the exhale. Chaturanga, with or without the knees. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Head totally heavy, relax your jaw. Let's walk the hands all the way back to the feet. Lift up halfway. Forward fold. Bend your knees and sit back, chair pose. Reach both arms up. Your feet can be together or hip width. I'm having my feet hip width here. Doesn't really matter. However is more comfortable on the knees. Sit your butt back. Keep the weight primarily in your heels. Take an inhale. Exhale. Bring your hands to your heart center. Take a breath in. Exhale, cross right ankle over left thigh, figure four pose. This is our outer hip stretch. Flex your right toes. Choose a steady spot to focus your gaze. The more you sit back, the deeper the stretch. 3, 2, 1. Come up to stand with your right knee in front of you. Hinge forward to a warrior 3. Drop your outer right hip. Push your left thigh bone back. 5 count lower to standing splits. 4, 3, 2, hands to the mat. Walk your hands forward, 3-leg downward facing dog. That right leg is up. Bend the knee, stack the hips, and feel free to move that right leg around in any way that feels good. Try not to get stuck in a movement pattern. You can move freely. Square off the hips. Let's go ahead and step the right foot forward towards the right thumb. You can bounce the hips a few times, bend and straighten your legs, wiggle your toes. And drop your back knee and reach both arms up, low lunge. Press down with the top of the left foot. Take a breath in. Exhale, twist open to the right. Right arm reach back, left arm forward. Your right hand finds the back of the left leg. Reach your left arm up. Try to look forward or look up at the left hand so the shoulders are square to the front. Take an inhale. Exhale, half splits pose. Frame your right foot. Flex your toes. Option to even grab the toes and pull them back. One more breath. Rebend your right knee, bump your hands forward, standing L pose, throw the left leg up behind you, then step the left foot behind the right foot. Now walk the hands over to the right. So we do this a lot here, but this time I want you to turn the top of the right foot down so the top of the toenails are down. Then bend your left knee. So the left shin is pushing into the right calf. As you do that, you should feel an awesome stretch on the top of your right foot. I did not make this up, I stole this, and it's now one of my favorite stretches for the front of the right ankle. So again, if you missed it, it's the top of the right foot, the toenails down, the left shin bone is pushing into the right calf. Put the right foot regular, walk the hands through center, pivot on your feet, spinning around to face the back of your mat. Your feet are hip width once again, bend your knees and sit back, chair pose. Feet can be together or hip width. Bring your hands to your heart center. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh, figure 4 pose. Flex the left toes and push the left shin bone back. The deeper you sit, the more stretch you'll feel on that outer left hip. 3, 2, 1. Bring yourself up, left knee in front of you. Hinge forward, warrior 3. Stamp the left heel back behind you. Feel a gentle twist to the right. We're taking a 5 count dive to standing splits. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hands to the ground, walk the hands out. 3-leg downward facing dog. Bend your left knee, stack your hips, and move that left leg around freely. Square your hips, step your left foot forward, bounce the hips, bend and straighten your legs. And drop your back knee and reach both arms up. Inhale, exhale, twist open to the left. Press down with the top of the right foot. Left hand to the right hamstring, reach your right arm up. Square your shoulders, your hips towards the front of the mat, I guess technically the back of the mat. Lift your sternum, look up at your right hand, inhale. Exhale, half splits. Flex your toes, maybe even grab the toes. Feel the outer right hip go forward. One more breath. Rebend your left knee, bump your hands forward, standing L, throw the right leg up behind you, then step the right foot behind the left foot, cross the ankles. Walk the hands left, and then that same thing. So the top of the left foot's gonna go down, the toenails down. You're gonna bend both knees, but especially that back knee. So the right shin and the right knee are pushing into the left calf. You're getting a stretch through the front of the left ankle and the top of the foot. Again, it's the left toenails down, right shin bone and knee are pushing the left shin forward. 3, 2, 1. Left foot regular, walk the hands centers, pivot on your feet to face the front of the mat, but you're standing at the back of the mat. Halfway lift, fold and walk it all the way out. Chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, cobra, upward facing. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Take an inhale. Exhale, step your right foot to your right thumb. Spin your back foot flat, rise up, warrior 1. Take a breath in. As you exhale, open it up, Skandasana at the back of your mat. Deeply bend your left knee. If this doesn't feel good, you can always take side lunge instead with the feet flat and the toes pointing in the same direction. Either way, focus on driving down into that left heel. We're gonna rise all the way up to a star pose. Grab your left wrist and lean over to your right. Squeeze your right oblique. Come back up through center. Dive your torso down to the left. Swing your head through center and then walk it around to the front. Bump or wiggle your right foot a little bit out to the right and come up to a high lunge crescent warrior. Take an inhale. Exhale, twist open to the right. You might even put a little bend in your back knee to keep the hips level. Drop the left knee to the ground, reach your left arm up. I'm gonna keep my back toes tucked here, kind of like we just did in that previous sequence. Look up at the left hand, inhale. As you exhale, windmill your hands to the mat. Send the right leg up and back behind you. Inhale. Bend the knees, stack the hips, shift forward, roll to the outer edge of the left foot. Softly step your right foot behind you for wild thing. Now I want you to lower your butt to the ground. You could even bend both knees or just bend the right knee. So the left leg could be straight or both knees could be bent. Then you're gonna lift your hips back up into Wild Thing and slowly flip it around. Option to float the right leg as you lower Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. So lots of options here. Of course, the Wild Thing, the hip lower, the leg float, those are all optional. Everything is technically optional besides the breath. Take a breath in. Exhale, step your left foot forward towards your left thumb. Spin your back foot flat and rise. Warrior One. Inhale. Exhale, Skandasana or side lunge at the back of your mat. Really use your right heel to rise all the way up, star pose. Then grab your right wrist and lean over to your left. Come back through center, dive your torso down to the right and walk it all the way to the front, runner's lunge. Wiggle the left foot a little left and come up high lunge, crescent warrior. Take a moment to get stable here, breath in. Breath out, twist open to the left. Option to bend the right knee a little bit to keep the hips level. Take your left hand to the back of your right leg. Drop your right knee, but I like to keep the toes tucked just because we know what's coming. Reach the right arm up and look up. Windmill both hands to the mat. Now those back toes are already tucked, so you can send the left leg up and back a little bit easier. Bend your knee, stack your hips. Stay here or shift forward. Flip it over softly, Wild Thing. There's no need to rush. Now option to bend both knees or just the left leg as you lower yourself down. So this right leg is either straight or both knees are bent. Lift your hips back up, Wild Thing. Nice and slow, flip it around. Option to float the left leg and lower Chaturanga. Inhale up, exhale back. Now personally, I'm not a fan of the one-legged Chaturangas because I like to flip my feet at the same time going into upward facing dog. So this makes it not so enjoyable, but totally up to you. Just if you're doing one-legged Chaturangas, be really mindful that the butt isn't sticking up in the air. You're still trying to keep your hips in line with the shoulders as you lower. Take a breath in. Exhale, step your right foot forward. With your breath, rise, Warrior One. To the back of the mat, Skandasana or side lunge. Inhale, rise, star. Exhale, grab your left wrist and lean to your right. Inhale, center, dive down to the left, and then walk it around to the front. Come up, high lunge, crescent warrior. Twist open to your right. Drop the back knee, maybe the toes stay tucked, reach just the left arm up. Windmill your hands to the mat. That's the exhale. Inhale, right leg up. Bend it, stack it, stay there, or slow, flip it. Lowering your butt to the ground. Inhale, back to Wild Thing. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale up. Exhale, back, down dog. Take a breath in. Exhale, step your left foot forward. Warrior One. Skandasana at the back. Drive down into your right heel, star pose. Grab your right wrist, lean to your left. Back to center, dive your torso down to the right and walk it to the front. High lunge, crescent warrior. Twist open to the right. Drop your back knee, option to keep the toes tucked, reach just the right arm up. Windmill your hands to the mat, left leg goes up and back. Bend it, stack it, shift forward, and option to flip it. Lower your butt to the ground, back to Wild Thing. Slow, flip it around. Hips in line with shoulders as you lower Chaturanga. Upward and downward facing dog. All right, one more time. Inhale. Exhale, right foot. Warrior One. Skandasana, side lunge at the back. Star pose. Grab left wrist, lean right. Center, dive to the left, walk it to the front. High lunge, twist right. Back knee down, left arm up. Hands down, right leg up. Bend, stack, flip, lower your butt. Wild thing, lift, flip around, chaturanga. All right, last time, inhale. Exhale, left foot step, warrior one. Skandasana or side lunge at the back. Star pose, grab right wrist and lean left. Center, dive down to the right and walk it to the front, runner. High lunge, twist left. Back knee down, just the right arm up. Both hands to the mat, left leg goes up. Bend, stack, stay, or slow flip. Lower your butt to the ground. Wild thing. And chaturanga. Inhale up. Let's meet in child's pose. Can't believe it's our first child's pose of class. Wow. Breathe evenly. Relax your jaw. Two more breaths. All right, let's meet in downward facing dog. Walk your hands all the way back to your feet. Grab the big toes, lengthen on an inhale. Hinge and fold, exhale. Squeeze your legs, feel the inner thighs roll back. Roll a little weight to the big toe. Three, two, one, half lift, fold, hands to the waist, rise. Step the feet together. Reach your arms up, lift from your sides, and then pull your right knee up in front of you with the foot flexed. Take an inhale. Exhale, figure four. This time, let's sweep the arms back. Push the right knee back. Kick the inner right heel forward. All right, left hand to the left hip. Right hand knee, heel, or big toe. I personally like the heel the best. You're gonna kick the right leg out to the right, scoop the right glute underneath you. The big toe and the heel are not better than the knee. The best pose you can do is the one where you're standing up tall. So you're not hinging, you're not rounding your spine. Try to keep the hips level for 3, 2. From wherever you are, right leg back through center. Reach your arms up and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2. Step your right foot forward. Sweep the arms back, warrior 3, that left leg lifts up behind you. Feel the outer left hip drop. Push the ball of the right foot down and feel the right thigh bone go back. You should feel a slight twist to the right. Option to bring the hands to heart center. You're gonna dive your hands down towards the front of your mat, so a little in front of the right foot. Take 5 handstand hops here. So leading with that left leg, 5, 4, 3, 2, if you're holding one, great. 1. When you're ready, you'll put that right foot down, step the left foot behind the right foot, and walk the hands to the right. Just regular feet this time, no top of the foot down. Walk the hands back through center, keep your ankles crossed. That front foot, right foot, you're gonna grab the big toe. Left hand to the left hip. The transition is the hardest part. So I like to put a little bend in the left knee. We're gonna come up to stand with the right leg in front of us. Same leg that we just did at the back of the mat. Plug the right shoulder back. If you can't grab the big toe, that's all right, grab the knee instead. Feel a little twist to the right. You're gonna switch, left hand grabbing the outer edge of the right foot, reach your right arm back. Feel the outer right hip go down. 3, 2, 1, release grip, take a long step back, warrior 2. Think about heels dragging together, knees pushing away from each other. Hip points lift, and your hips are open to the long edge of the mat, not turning towards that left leg. Your gaze, however, is towards the left fingertips. Flip palm reverse, and side angle. Left hand in or outside the foot, elbow thigh, hand to block, lots of options. Scoop your left glute underneath you, firm down the outer edge of the right foot. Feel the bottom ribs pull in, belly button back. Breathe for 3. Can you lighten up the left toes? 2. 1, turn this into triangle pose. So personally, I like to shorten the stance a little bit here. So I would come out of the pose, shorten the stance, try not to adjust the stance while you're in it, and then come back into triangle pose. Squeeze your legs. Option to extend your top arm, palm down or pinky down. Plug the left shoulder back, push your left hip to the right. 3, 2, walk it over to the right, goddess pose. Hands heart, feel free to move around a little bit. Let's reach the arms up. Lift your left heel up off of the ground. We're gonna pivot on the left foot, turning to face the back. Take it slow into a high lunge crescent warrior. Take an inhale. Exhale, twist open to the right. Drop your back knee. Now let's work the right hand to the back of the left hamstring. However, this time we're gonna work a straight right leg. So I like to wiggle the right foot forward first, push into the right foot. You might notice you have to even wiggle the foot more forward. And personally, I like to keep the back toes tucked here. Makes me feel more stable. So once you can get that right leg straight, maybe you work the right hand towards the left heel, left ankle, or left calf, reaching the left arm up. Lift through your sternum. It's kind of like a one leg camel pose. 3, 2, 1. Come back up, hands down, straighten into that right leg like half splits. You're gonna look back and make sure you untuck your back toes. We're going into a half hero's pose. So you're gonna drop your butt towards the ground. You kind of have to drag this right leg back, taking a seat. You can move your left calf muscle out of the way. If this is too much on that left knee, skip it. You can take Janu Shirshasana instead, or you can always sit up on a block. Feel free to stay here, or we're gonna try to fold over our right leg. Breathe. 3. Tone your belly. 2. And 1. Sit yourself up. Now, use your fingertips, lift your hips up. You're gonna tuck your back toes. Take a seat back on your left heel. Continue to walk the hands back, drag that right foot back further. All right, so your left glute is on your left heel. See if you can float your right leg. Maybe walk the hands back a little bit more. Maybe you float your hands to heart center into a pistol squat for 3, 2, 1. Right foot down, hinge forward, hands down. So your right foot's halfway through the mat, the left leg's back behind you. This is a really good spot, again, to kick up and try a handstand. Once again, leading with that left leg. Feel free to take a few. It's a little bit of a different move than what we did before. When you feel ready, step or jump back, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now, personally, I like the first handstand hops we did because they require less momentum and their goal is not to use so much momentum, but it's good to practice lots of different methods to get in. Walk your hands all the way back to your feet. Slide your hands underneath your feet with the palms facing up. Lengthen, inhale. Fold, exhale. Roll some weight forward without, obviously, rolling forward. Release that. Hands to the waist, rise. Step or hop your feet together. Send both arms up. Lift your left knee up in front of you. Try to keep the hips level, figure 4 pose. Let's sweep the arms back this time. Lengthen your sides, bottom ribs in. Right hand to the right hip. Your left peace sign fingers to the big toe, knee, or my favorite, the heel. Stand up and take the left leg to the left. Don't be surprised if side 2 feels totally different than side 1. Scoop your left glute underneath you. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Left leg through center. Reach arms up. Hold 5. Tone belly. 4, 3, 2. Step your left foot forward. Sweep the arms back and lift your right leg up behind you into warrior 3. Drop your outer right hip. Feel a gentle twist to the left. Option to bring hands to the heart. We're going to drop the hands to the mat towards the front. So again, you're a little bit in front of your left foot, but that right foot's not starting on the mat. So the right leg is already lifted. You're kind of pumping into the left foot. Take 5 handstand hops. 1, 2, 3. If you can hold 1, great. 4, 5. Step your right foot behind your left foot. Regular feet, walking the hands to the left. Walk your hands center. The left peace sign fingers grab the left big toe, right hand to the hip. I like to bend the knees as I come up to stand because it's the front leg that's lifting, left leg out in front of you. Plug the left shoulder back, feel a gentle twist to the left. We're gonna switch. Right hand grabbing the outer edge of the left foot, twisting to the left. Flex your foot, kick left foot left. 3, steady breath. 2, 1, release grip, take a long step back, warrior 2. Feel free to set up your feet different than how you landed. Again, your hips are open to the long edge of the mat, but you are looking to the right hand. Reverse warrior, side angle. Try not to dump or round. Your spine is still nice and long. Tailbone scooping to the left heel. Scoop your right glute underneath you. Push your right knee a little bit to the right. Pull your belly button back and breathe for 3, 2, 1, triangle. So personally, since I like a shorter stance, I'm gonna come up first, set up my feet a little bit shorter, and then go into triangle. But if you're someone who likes a longer stance, you might just straighten that right leg and immediately be in triangle pose. Try not to let the left arm fall back behind you. You're reaching up or extending the top arm. And if, as you do that, notice if you arch your back, just pull the bottom ribs in. 3, belly button back. 2, 1, walk it over to the right, goddess pose. Feel free to move around in any way you like. And then we'll reach the arms up. Lift your right heel, pivot on your right foot. Go slow to face towards the front. You might even need to wiggle the left foot to the left into a high lunge crescent warrior. Take an inhale. Exhale, open arms to the left. Drop your right knee. I like to keep the right toes tucked. The left hand finds the back of the right leg. However, we want to straighten into this left leg. So I'm going to walk my left foot a little bit forward, maybe even a little bit to the left. Then I'm going to try to straighten the left leg. That's almost going to push my hips back where they want to go. My left hand is grabbing maybe right heel, right ankle, gazing up towards the right hand. One leg camel pose for 3. 2. And 1. Bring yourself back up. Now I'm going to untuck these back toes. So I'm going to look down and make sure they are. I'm going to shift my weight back. I kind of have to drag this left leg back, dropping my butt inside of my right heel. Move the right foot out to the right, or right calf muscle out to the right. So you're not sitting on your right foot. The toes are pointed back. Feel free to stay here, sit on something, or go for that fold. Try to keep your sitting bones down and breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring yourself back up. You're going to shift your weight a little bit forward so you can tuck those right toes once again. Sit your right glute onto your right heel and begin to walk the hands back. Lift your right knee off the ground. You'll have to drag that left leg back. Start by keeping the hands on the ground. See if you can float the left leg. That's going well. Maybe you can bring your hands to heart center into a pistol squat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Left foot down. You're kind of catapulting the hands forward. So now the right foot is on the ground. That's going to give you a little extra momentum. We're going to try some more handstand hops. Starting with both feet on the ground. And then when you're ready, step or jump back, chaturanga. We'll meet in downward facing dog. All right, talk about something different. Let's slide that right knee up to the right wrist, find something familiar, pigeon pose. Now, I teach, in-person classes every week, and although I keep it different each week, the style remains pretty similar. So sometimes I struggle with coming up with new content for YouTube. I know there are so many different styles and kinds out there, and I get requests for certain things, but there's certain things I just don't teach. My style is more vinyasa, and I love all the recommendations. I really try to put them into class. But there's certain styles I just am not certified in, and I don't teach that way in person. So I hope you enjoy this little bit of difference while still remaining very similar to a lot of my other classes. Let's begin to walk the hands back, roll onto your right hip, open up towards the left side of your mat, bottom of the right foot at the inner left thigh, or you can turn the right knee towards the long edge of the mat. Just make sure your hips are at 90 degrees. We're gonna go into a gate variation. Diving to the left leg, stretching the right arm up and over, side stretch. I would say this class would be great for ankle, knee mobility. We did a lot of weird and funky stuff with the lower body, not so much work on the upper body, besides the handstand hops. Bring yourself back up. If that right shin isn't down, try to put your right shin down. We're going to turn the left toes in. Right hand outside the right foot. Lift your hips, modified side plank variation. Turn it into a back bend. And then looking down, let's step back, down dog. If you'd like to take a vinyasa, go for it. But we're just going to switch into pigeon pose on the left side. All right, begin to walk your hands back, roll onto your left hip, open up towards the right side of your mat, bottom of the left foot, inner thigh, or left knee towards the long edge of the mat. And then those left toes pointing back behind you. We go side stretch to the right, left arm reaching up and over. Try to keep the left sitting bone down, spiral your chest up towards the ceiling. And bring it back up. Left hand outside left hip. Turn the right toes in, roll onto the left shin, push the hips forward. Modified side plank variation. And then we'll go right hand down, step back, down dog, step or jump through to a seat. Whew, let's go bottoms of the feet to touch, Baddha Konasana. Grab the feet or ankles, hinge at the waist. You can always use the elbows to push the legs down, and if you'd like to make this more restorative, take more of a diamond pose. The feet will be further away from you, and you can take the arms under the legs. Two more breaths. All right, removing the arms, close your knees like a book and lie down onto your back. Hug the knees in, maybe rock a little bit side to side, kind of massage out around the tailbone. Just gonna do 2 back bends today. So starting off with bridge pose, feet are pretty close to you. You can grab the ankles or just arms by the sides. That's what I like to do. Scoop your tailbone, low back to the mat, and then lift the hips up. You could even wiggle the shoulder blades a little underneath you. The goal is not to flare the ribs as high as they can go, actually letting the ribs soften down. Feel that scoop of the tailbone. Push your chest towards your chin ever so slightly. And release. Take a breath. Second and final back bend here. Bridge at the bind. If you've got upward bow, hands besides the head, scoop the tailbone, lift hips, and then lift your upper body as well. Keep the toes pointing forward. Breathe. One more breath. Slowly lower yourself down, pull the knees into your chest. Take like an upside down forward fold. So I like to take the legs over, kind of like plow pose, but you're trying to sink your hips towards the ground. If you'd like, you could even reach up towards the feet, kind of like you would in Paschimottanasana. That kind of helps, but you're thinking about the hips going down towards the ground. So I like to grab the bottoms of the feet. It's a counter pose, but just kind of the opposite of what we would usually do, rocking up to a seated Paschimottanasana. From there, you can take the legs actually up into shoulder stand or waterfall pose. Option for plow. So now the hips are over the shoulders, unlike that upside down fold where the hips are trying to go to the ground. If you hyperextend your elbows, I like to grab the outsides of the mat instead. Maybe ear pressure pose. Slow, 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 roll it out, counter pose fish, Matsyasana, fingertips under the waistband. So legs on the mat is great. Can also go legs up 45 degrees. If you're doing that, you're trying to drop the top of the head to the ground. Just a lot on the neck. That's why I usually do the modified version. Arms will be straight up, palms touch. This is more of the Ashtanga way. Legs at 45, you'll feel it in your hip flexors. Stretch your throat. And release your arms. Release your legs and your head. Let's just pull the right knee in and do a really simple supine twist. Right knee over to the left. If you'd like to make it a little more intense, you could bend that left knee. The right hand can reach back for the left foot like a cat grabbing its own tail. Release that grip if you've got it. Unwind through center and we'll just switch. Left leg in, right leg long. Guide the left knee to the right. Feel free to stay there, or that left hand can reach for the right foot if you bend the right knee, like a cat grabbing its own tail looking to the left. Release that grip, unwind onto your back, hug both knees in. Oh, my back is so sore, this feels amazing. When you're ready, go ahead and extend your legs. Let the toes flap out. And if you do have any back pain, you can always put a bolster underneath the knees. And then if the knees are bent, your low back will be flatter on the ground, kind of relieving some of that arch and maybe pain. Otherwise, legs straight, toes flopping out, arms by the side with the palms up. Might feel nice to squeeze everything nice and tight real quick, like the palms. You can curl the toes, squeeze your glutes, your abs, all the muscles you can think of, and then completely soften. Let go of any effort in your body, with your breath, with your thoughts. Take a deep breath in. And let it go. Shavasana, resting time. Take a deep breath in and out. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. And when you're ready, stretch your arms overhead. Feel space. Hug the knees in. Gathering whatever it is you wish to take off of the mat with you. Gather that up, squeeze, bring it in. Roll to your right or left side and then come up to a seat. Relax your shoulders, sit up tall, draw the hands to heart. Take a breath in. Exhale. Namaste. Thank you for choosing to practice with me. I hope you enjoyed this little bit of a different style class. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thumbs up. I guess you could give me a thumbs down, but please don't. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Share this with your family and friends. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate you. You are what keeps my channel going. I have had some people ask about like how to donate since YouTube is obviously free. You can give super thanks. So super thanks are a way to help me support my channel. It's basically like a donation, which is really helpful. So I obviously put some ads in my classes, but I would never put ads in the middle of a yoga class. That just feels extremely wrong. So there are ads in the beginning and the end, but you know, that does not make you nearly as much money as putting ads in the middle of class. And not that I do this for money, but it is nice because I put in a lot of time and effort into filming and editing the videos. So yeah, if you're interested, you can give me super thanks. It's of your choice. Any sort of donation is appreciated, but it is totally not necessary. You can also visit my website for some more info on how to connect with me. I'll link all of that below.